All right, it is 70 degrees. We're right at it. And we've got a no heat call. Last night they were cold. So anyway, it's a gas furnace. We have not been here before, but let's go in here and see if we can get them some heat. Looks like we got a little ICP product here, comfort maker. So let's open it up and see what's going on. Okay. She finally went out there and left us alone. Igniter doesn't look beautiful. So we will stick our jumper wire on here right quick and see what happens. I sure don't want to hassle with them, so I'm not going to go down there and answer 20 questions to get the thermostat turned on. So, see what happens. Somebody replaced that igniter before. That's one of those hot rods or glow rods, glow flies, glow plugs, whatever it is. There's a connector on top. It has not signaled the igniter. And these boards, there we go. We got 3 green flashes. And I'm going to guess. Okay. I pulled that off and drew on it with my mouth, and we got hot surface ignition. So I cut me a little piece of thermostat wire off. And I sure can't poke it through there. So there might be some type of shield at the end or something, but as nasty as that looks coming out of there, I wouldn't doubt if it was plugged up. What happens is these things rust, they condensate a little bit, maybe even in the air mode, and rust and build up and rust and build up, and that port doesn't travel any vacuum to this switch. I still don't hear that switch coming in. I have to go get a manometer and see what's going on here. This ought to be pretty easy to figure out. All right. Stuck my manometer on here, and I'll just see if it affects it. All right, let's see if we can figure out what's going on with this thing. I've got it off. It's definitely full of a little bit of stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see where the port goes in. What it's actually hitting. But it's pulling enough to read on the manometer. So, see if we can figure this out. This one must be different than any I've seen because you can't poke through it. And you also cannot blow through it. So it's definitely something going on here. All right, that's the worst one I have seen. Now you can blow through it. It was strange that it would read on the manometer, but it was just enough volume to pull that in, not enough volume to pass through the switch or pull the switch in. And I had to take that little bitty drill bit right there and run it through there. So I don't know what in the world that one was bad. Now I've got to try to see if I can salvage enough gasket here to get this thing back in here and working. So probably fire right up with the same vacuum switch and all as soon as we get this back in. All right, I got it all back together. And I tell you, I wish I'd have had the camera on when it went through. It was tough to get the bit to go through it. I can't see in there. Can't see through the fins or anything, so that's about the toughest blockage I've seen on one yet. So let's fire it back up. And I've left the same vacuum switch that was on it. I bet you she fires right up now. Toughest little clogged vacuum port that I've seen. Alright, let's put this thing back together and go turn it on from the thermostat and off a couple times and let these people get back to their life. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think I just called you.
That's okay.
It's all right.
I'm not crazy about the slow release of the gas valve. You may have noticed that. See the hot surface flowing in. It does light, so not sure this thing doesn't need a gas valve. And you know, this I didn't look while I was in there, but the age on this thing's equal to the house, and I believe it's only about 10 years old. It might be 12, but either way, these weren't bad furnaces. I mean, they'll last a while. The generic ACs are usually worse than the furnace, and sometimes the furnace will last through 2 air conditioners, but this is one of those huge coils. 4 ton. And it is certainly a tall one. Coil ain't far from being as tall as the furnace, but they're back up and running, so we'll tell them what we think about it and move on to the next one. Thanks for watching. All right, well, those were really nice people, and we have not been to that house before. They found us on some kind of app. I think it was Next Door or something like that. And they assured me that they would recommend us to their friends and neighbors, and that they really appreciated the service. Almost made it there. So anyway, that was really something. That the port flowed enough air to read the manometer. It drew on the manometer, but it absolutely would not pull in a vacuum switch. And I've seen that before, just not quite that bad. That's about the worst one that I couldn't poke out. I've always been able to take an Allen wrench on a tough one, a little small Allen wrench, and just tap it with my pliers or screwdriver or something and get it right out of there. But I tell you what, that one had to have a drill bit run through it. But I think it'll be all right now. But anyway, we've got 3 more today, and it is about 2 o'clock. So if we can get any footage on any of the next ones, we will. But some of the customers, they hang pretty tight on you, and I just don't want to explain why I'm filming if they're around. So anyway, I appreciate you watching, and we're on the way to the next one.